This is Martinho da Arcado, and this is one of my favorite coffee shops in all of Lisbon for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's a great spot, really traditional, really authentic, really nice spot to come get a coffee or a treat. And it's right in the middle of the tourist area of Lisbon. Right over there, 2 steps away is the Praça do Comércio, and that's one of the top tourist attractions here. But this is not really a tourist site. You'll see some tourists outside drinking beer, but this is mostly a locals place. And it's also got a mural of my buddy Pessoa behind me. So that's good. Now, what did I get? I got this little cake. No idea what it is. It's like a little corn muffin. So I wanted to talk about a video that I put up a couple of weeks ago, and a topic that came up during that video and kind of kicked up some dust for some reason. I was telling my friend Clyde about it, and he said, you kicked up the most controversial thing you ever do is talk about what coffee you like best. So I think he's right, but sometimes controversial topic comes up, and I was talking about expat life here in Portugal, and a bunch of people really objected to the word expat. They thought that it denoted a level of privilege not given to other immigrants in Portugal. And I thought about it. And in a way, they're right. But first, let me tell you about these terms, expat and immigrant. They are often used interchangeably, but they don't mean the exact same thing. They mean 2 different things. So an immigrant, by definition, is a person who comes to a new country with the intention of settling there permanently. Now, what's an expat? Is that different? It is. There is a subtle difference there that you need to understand. An expat is a person who moves to a new country for a defined period of time, who comes to a new country and probably doesn't intend to stay there. So think of like someone who comes to work for a company and has a 2-year duty at that country, a 2-year contract, but he plans to go back to his original country. Or a student who comes here to study for a year. Or an immigrant who comes here and says, I'm probably going to go back home at some point. Or digital nomads who move all over the place. They're not immigrants, they're expats. They're living in different places and they're leaving those places. So that's the difference between immigrant and expat. But I think where people get their back up about that term expat is that they really only hear Americans use it. And that's why they think that Americans are somehow coming from a point of privilege saying, oh, we're expats and they're immigrants. And I understand that because for a long time, in fact, even today, I prefer to think of us as immigrants, even though I don't necessarily know how long we'll be in Portugal. Our intention is to stay here, but who knows? We could stay here forever. We could decide to move next year, next week. We don't know. So really, in the grand scheme of things, expat might be a better definition of what we are, but I prefer to call us immigrants because I don't want to connote that level of privilege that some others do. We are here just like everyone else, just like someone who came from, pick your country, Brazil, Germany, China, Hong Kong, wherever. We're coming here with the intention of making Portugal our home. So we are immigrants. So technically, is expat the right word? Not 100% sure, but it's one of those words that seems to fire people up. So my preference would be to use the proper word in the proper context. If I'm talking to someone who's going to be here temporarily, to call them an expat. If I'm talking to someone who's here permanently, call them an immigrant, with the understanding that some people may not understand or may not really believe that there's that slight difference in definition. So there you go. This video has been a little bit different than my usual videos where I'm talking only about food and travel, but life in Portugal, it's important to talk about these things, about what the day-to-day is like and the different situations that we encounter on a daily basis. So I thought I'd bring this up. Let me know what you think. Do you think there is a difference between the term expat and immigrant? Do you think people should be using the term expat? What do you tend to use? Let me know in the comments below. If you like food and travel, be sure and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel too. My name's Brent Peterson. I do videos like this all the time, mostly about food and travel. So do subscribe and see you down the road. What's that?
Vimos já volta para cá.